Hello, Practicum students. I'm kind of shooting a two-for-one video. So right now, as I'm shooting this, it's Thursday on week 5. So you guys are finishing up your week 5, and then you're going to be going on to week 6. So with week 6, you probably figured out the pattern. Every 2 weeks, I'm going to have you submit a progress journal. So make sure you get your progress journal in, and also your hourly log. Now, some of you have asked me, why am I not getting any points for my hourly log? I'm going to award all the points for your hours at the end of the semester. So you have to have that 60 hours or the 120, depending on which version that you're doing. It's kind of be the pass-fail when it comes to the hours. So I just award all the points at the end of the course. So if you see like a 1 point in the grade book, don't freak out. You'll get all the points added, at the end of the semester. So that's okay. With the progress journals, it's a small amount of points all the way through at 12.5. And then we're also going to have a couple of evaluations due at the end of the semester. Every semester that you're out in practicum, a couple of evaluations. And we'll talk more about that. We've got weeks to go before we even get close to that. But you'll be evaluating your site, and then your preceptor will be doing an evaluation of you. Now, some of you are really doing great. It sounds like most of you are getting into that rhythm. Right about week 6 is really that rhythm, that whatever you want to call it, that pattern is established with you and your preceptor. So as far as if you're doing a project or maybe you're doing some research for them on something they want to do, go ahead and make sure that's kind of underway at this point. Some of you are getting some great experience going to some really high-level meetings. That is fantastic. You're networking, you're meeting leaders within your facilities. That's one of the objectives for practicum, is really networking as well. So keep working those networks. And remember too, at the end of all of this, you should want to, or at least consider, asking your preceptor to serve as a reference for you. Now, I would be a little bit diplomatic in this one. If it didn't go well, then don't ask them. But if it did go well, and it almost always does, if it did go well, you're going to want them to be a reference for you. I would, since many of you are doing this in your place of employment, you don't want to give the impression necessarily that you're looking to leave your employer. So you might want to frame it like this. As you, at the very end, you talk to your preceptor, and it's been a wonderful experience. Everybody's all happy, and you say, if I ever go for advancement or go for a new position here within blank, okay. For those of us that work at Mercy Health, Bon Secours Mercy Health, we call it the ministry. So if I ever go for an advanced position or a new position here at the ministry, would you be willing, able to serve as a reference for me? And, I think it's always good to ask that. Or even ask, if you had a very positive experience there, hey, if you're ever looking for someone to join your team, I've loved being part of this team in the hours that we've had together, and would be very excited about joining, your division or whatever. So go for the close. I would recommend go for the close, again, as you get to the end of this. So as you're going through it, of course, think of it like an interview, Make sure that you're putting your best authentic version of yourself forward in these interactions that you have with your preceptors and others. Okay, so there's that. Another thing has come up in the progress journals, and I know we've got folks living in different areas in, what the weather is impacting. Especially now, we're getting the tail end of winter, we're getting some nasty weather. If you ever have weather conditions that you feel is unsafe for you to drive to practicum, don't go to practicum. Okay, that's kind of our rule. You make the call. We don't have to wait for a level 5 or a level 1 or whatever snow emergency. If in the area of wherever you live, you deem it unsafe, that is good. No problem. Just, of course, call your preceptor, let him know, hey, the roads are super icy. I'm not going to be able to be in today. Those of us with kids, school, they call school off at the, slightest bit of snow. That could be a reason as well. Hey, my kids got called off school. I have to stay home. Just let your preceptor know. And, any decent preceptor is going to be willing to understand that. It's really different if this was your job and you had to be at a facility. That's a whole different thing, as far as you getting out on icy roads. we don't want to risk that. The risk reward is not worth it for practicum. You still need to make the hours up, but I don't want you on icy, dangerous roads to bank a few hours and get into a car accident and get hurt or anything like that. So long story short, you make the call. You don't need to tell me that you're not going to be in practicum that day, because I don't micromanage your weekly schedule, but you do need to make sure you make up the hours, and of course, let your preceptor site know. The last thing you want is a no call, no show. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this week. Again, nothing is due for week 5, but week 6, pop back into the course and submit your hourly log and your progress journals. A couple of you are missing a couple of items from week 4. So please submit those items. I do take late work. Again, the stuff that I'm asking for is really to monitor, making sure that you're okay out there in what you're doing and kind of seeing how you're going. And if I don't see anything like for a month, we can lose a lot of time. And you may be heading in the wrong direction or may not be having a positive experience, and that's too long to wait. So that's why we do these things every 2 weeks. So do please go back. If you missed some stuff in week 4, go back and submit that, and then make sure you do submit your progress journal and your logs for week 6. All right, everybody have a fantastic week out in practicum. Thanks.